everyone, I'm Ananya and welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, we're talking about part-time jobs for Indian international students in the UK. But the best part about this video is I have actually interviewed Indian international students in the UK and they are going to give their tips, their advice and their suggestions for you to be able to make a better decision of what you need to do to actually get a job part-time as an Indian international student in the UK. So let's get started. Getting a part-time job is one of the most important things for students who are going to study abroad. UK is one of the countries with a high tuition fee and the cost of living in the United Kingdom is quite high, especially in the larger cities like London. But the best part is there are a lot of opportunities for you as international students who are going to study in the UK. While looking and applying for part-time positions, there are a number of factors that you need to keep in mind as an Indian international student. The number one thing is what type of visa you're actually on. If you're a full-time student, you would be on a particular visa. If you're a part-time student, you're on a different visa. If you're an undergrad, you're in a different visa. Graduate school have a different plan. So please look at what type of visa you actually have before applying for the job. The second thing that you need to understand is you do need the permission of your university to actually apply for jobs. Please be mindful and careful of this. Check with your university what type of student status you are on and what type of work you are actually allowed to do before you end up looking for all the jobs, getting the jobs and then finding out you actually cannot do it. That's not a good way to do it. So the first thing, as soon as you land in the UK, you're settled in, all of that has happened, please check with your university whether you can work on campus, off campus, how many hours, all of that sort of thing. I'm going to give you a general overview of what you can do. The third thing that you need to keep in mind when looking for jobs is there are different types of jobs. One is off campus, one is on campus. On-campus jobs are jobs that are available within your university. So this will be research assistant, you're in the dorm, you're working with the admin of your campus, you are in the dining halls, you're in the library, you're in the bookstore, you're an assistant to a department, you're a research assistant, a teaching assistant, a tutor. There are many different jobs that are available to you within the confines of your university. Now the best part about this is you don't have to commute to work, so you save all of that time and cost and you get to be paid very good amount of £8 to £9 per hour, which is actually the minimum wage in the UK, and that's a very good thing because you saving up everything, you can just reach work very quickly and you can work fast on campus. The second pro of working on campus is actually you get to meet a lot of people and get to know the insides of your campus very, very well. So that helps you really adjust to campus much faster because you get to know the department, you get to meet people, you network and you make friends also very easily. The second thing is you can work off campus as well, which is a great thing in the UK, which is not available to students who are in the US, even if they are full-time students. So working off campus means that you can work anywhere, literally anywhere that you get a job. This also, please check with your university, which is my point number 2, whether you can and cannot work off campus. Most students can work off campus as well. Now, what are off-campus jobs? This could be a front office, this could be a call center, this could be a gas station, this could be grocery stores, supermarket, retail stores, anywhere, literally anywhere that you find a job, you can take it up. The fourth thing that you need to keep in mind is that you can only work a limited number of hours. If you're a full-time student, you are allowed to work a maximum of 20 hours a week, which by the way is a lot given that you're a full-time student, have to do homework, have to go to classes, have to manage everything at school as well. So 20 hours a week is what you're allowed to work during term time. The best part is when there is no term time, which is during your holiday season, you are actually allowed to work full time, which is 40 hours a week, even though you're an Indian international student. This means that if you do not go home back to India, travel anywhere during your breaks, you can actually work 40 hours a week during Christmas break, Easter break, summer break. And during these times, some of the jobs, they pay you more because the local students are going away and you get the advantage of that. So during term time, it is 20 hours a week, whether you're on campus or off campus. And during non-term time, you're allowed to work 40 hours a week. The last thing that you need to check before applying for any job is whether you actually need a work permit. What I would suggest you do before applying to any job or anything, go and talk to your university career center. They can give you the exact guidelines and the exact details of what you can and cannot do, what job you can apply for. They might even suggest some jobs for you as a student. So once you've reached campus, you've settled down, you've done all of that, Go to the career center at your university, tell them who you are, tell them you want a job, and ask them what are the options available. At the end of the video, I provide you 5 great tips on how to get ready to apply for part-time jobs, what you need and don't need as an Indian international student. So watch this video right till the end. Now let's take a look at what some of the students studying in the UK have to say about this.
So London as a city can be expensive. So I definitely wanted to look for part-time jobs. And initially I didn't know what to do. A friend told me that my university itself has an employment department that employs students within the university to do work. So I first signed up to that service. We have to sign up to that service, giving them all our information. And you need something called a national insurance number to be able to work in the UK. So I did that whole process. And I signed up to them, gave them the things that I can do. So they sort of have a skills chart where they take a note of your skills and then accordingly offer you those kind of jobs that you have to sign up for. And all of them is first come, first served basis. So in the beginning, nothing really good came through, or even if it did, I missed out on it. But later I found out that they were recruiting for student ambassadors. And that was being advertised in the college itself, like in the canteen, they had sort of posters and someone was handing out a leaflet. And I thought that's a great opportunity. And I applied for that. There was a small application form and there was an interview round where they sort of ask you about a couple of questions just to learn about you and your experience and what you're studying. And I got through that round. So I then became a student ambassador of the college. So now what that work entails is when someone is visiting the college, I take them on college tours, sort of explain to them all of the facilities our university has to offer, share a little bit about my experience, sort of make them just feel welcome and help them know that this is what University of the Arts is about. Then the second part of it entails organizing events in the college. You sort of invigilate, guide the guest around, do the setup. And then when students come in for interviews for their applications, then we also help organize that. So there are lots of bits and bobs that we do around the college. But yeah, again, you have to apply for it or you look up online on the college website. I am a seeker. So I would just relentlessly go onto the college website to see if there were any kind of jobs, and if there were, I would apply to them. And you usually require a CV and a cover letter, where again the cover letter needs to be molded to the job description.
Right.
That is there. So that's how I landed my student ambassador job. And when I got this role, then there were other calls for other sort of upgrades into the student ambassador role. So I would apply to that, have an interview, and if you get through it, then you get recruited to that department as well. So that's how I've been doing a couple of things around the university, and I get paid quite well as well.
Working on campus and off campus, both of those options are available.
Most universities offer a lot of jobs. So you can look into that first if that is of interest. But if not, then there are platforms like Glassdoor, Indeed, LinkedIn, where you can find these other part-time jobs as well. And even the university will help you if you do ask them for it. The department that takes care of employment, they will also guide you through that. But I know a lot of my friends who worked off campus. They either worked at restaurants or retail stores, or worked as an assistant to a designer. So there are lots of part-time options, honestly.
What would be your maybe suggestions or tips for a student who is just starting out at university? How can they go about doing that?
I think it's very important to have a CV irrespective of your work experience, because that helps you sort of understand your strengths and weaknesses as well, because that's where you need to put yourself down and tell them why they need you over another person. So even if you don't have so much work experience, you can write about a few things that you did in school. And I'm sure most of us have done some activity or the other that we have taken part in, right? Or been part of some society. So it's okay to write even about those, but elaborate on what you did and stick to a point form system where you are precise and you say that you did this, or this initiative was led by you at university or in school. So something as basic as that, but it's important to have that document with you, and a little bit about yourself, like who you are as a person, what are you looking for and what you bring to the table. Because I think the minute you tell that to the recruiter, they know that you mean business, and that you are sure of yourself as a person. So that a little bit of academic qualification and skills on the side of what you can do, say Microsoft or Adobe if you're in the creative field, other basic softwares. I think it's just important to have that document. And through the years, you can keep updating it if you have some sort of experience. So you don't have to create one every time you apply for something. You can just add and subtract to a current template. And if you think at a certain time it needs a full revamp, then you can do that as well. But I think it's so important to have a template, no matter whether you have experience or you don't have experience, because there is some work that you've done before and that counts as well. And at the same time, I would say have a cover letter as well, which is of a similar sort of color palette, if you do have some sort of color, to your CV. So it is all cohesive and uniform. Have a basic paragraph introducing yourself. And then when you do apply for a job, you can write the second paragraph and keep the third paragraph ready about, thank you for your time and consideration, something that formal sort of ending or conclusion that we give. But I believe it's important to have it because it also gives you a lot of confidence. You need to constantly write, improve. And I think it's good to have that. It's a safer option. And just another quick tip that I would like to add is of LinkedIn, which is a social media platform, but for jobs.
Right.
And I think it's important to have that from the beginning. At least I did. You don't have to be sort of as active on it, but I think it's a good introduction into the world of working and just entrepreneurship as well, because when you follow the right people and the right companies, you learn about their journeys, which can complement or help you. And then again, it's a great way to exhibit your skills to a wider audience of people. So yeah, even if there isn't much yet, because that you're just starting out, so that is understandable.
Right.
But and as you go on, experiences will be added through the years. So I think that's a great place to have an easy introduction into that field.
That's absolutely right. I agree. Like, I just made a video about networking and how you need to network on campus with professors, with people, events, clubs, all of that. But yeah, LinkedIn was also what I mentioned, that it's a great way, even if it's with alumni of your university or anyone that you might know, just having a little bit of a presence on LinkedIn gives you so much more. And you can join all of these groups on LinkedIn, and you can meet up with all these people. Some of them are actually pretty nice. And if you ask for a coffee, if they're free, they might even end up meeting you. So that's a whole different thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you spoke about alumni, I in fact reached out to a couple of them when I was applying for jobs or for portfolios, just to get to learn from their experience, because they were working at some of these firms I was interested in. And they do get back to you. They give you tips from their experience, and that is so encouraging, right? To know that you can go to someone to ask for help.
Did you face any sort of, let's say, discrimination or bias given the fact that you were an Indian person who's trying to work in the UK?
No, I think that was a very fortunate thing as well, because I have had a few experiences, but I never had to face any sort of thing because I came from India. I was always very well welcomed. And there was no sort of discrimination I felt at any point. And I feel like that culture is getting better. Okay. It's a little slow, but I don't think that needs to be a concern at all when you apply for jobs. So don't let that hold you back. That's something. And in case that does happen, which I believe won't, you can always take it up with the management and they will then look into it.
Great insights and great tips on how to apply for jobs and work through them as Indian international students in the United Kingdom. Now I'm going to give you 5 quick tips on what you need to do and summarize a lot of what they said and I said at the beginning of the video as well. Tip number 1 is check with your university what you can and cannot do, how many hours you can work, what type of visa you're on, and whether you can work off campus as well. That's the first thing. The second thing is you do need a resume. So get a good resume ready. There are many templates available for free online as well. And there are many videos on YouTube talking about how to make a very good resume. Please check them out and have a resume ready. That's how you're going to be able to apply for jobs. Number 3 is get a good LinkedIn account. Make a LinkedIn account, put everything that you've done in school there, put any projects that you've done in university, what course you're currently studying and what you're looking for. Just make a basic LinkedIn profile. Also, a lot of free videos available on YouTube on how to make a good LinkedIn profile. So check them out and have a LinkedIn profile ready for yourself. Tip number 4, network. Create a good network on campus. I know it is hard as Indian international students. You're going to study new place, new country, but that's the only way that you can actually get jobs. So try to network with as many people as possible. Now this could include your professors, this could include students on campus, this could include your academic advisors, mentors, any other students, local students especially will know a lot more about the job market than you do. So speak to them and meet as many people as you can. The best part about all of the countries abroad is that you can walk into a store and just ask if they have an open position, and if they do, they will just ask for your CV and you can just get the job. That is how fast and quick and easy it is. But the thing about it is you need to make the effort to actually do that. The next tip is actually improve your English. Improve your speaking English skills. It doesn't matter where you're working, you need good English communication skills. So learn to speak very good English as much as you can. Practice, practice, practice. And the best way to do this, read a book aloud. Read it aloud to yourself. Reading, of course, helps you anyway in English, but reading aloud helps your diction, helps you practice, and you don't need anyone else to help you in that respect. You can just make the mistakes and redo it on your own. So read books aloud, talk to people, and keep practicing the way the slang works and the accents work, so that whenever you're working in the local grocery store or supermarket, you can speak well. The minute you speak well, you will get better jobs along the way. I really hope you liked this video. If you have any comments or suggestions, please drop them in the comment box below. Don't forget to like this video and of course subscribe to my channel for more such videos on studying abroad. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.